If you run a marathon, you can only finish it by seeing the end, seeing the ticker tape, hearing the crowds cheer your name is how you complete a difficult task.
When you say to the mind, I wish I could, it says, yeah, me too, get over it.
The way you feel about everything bar none is actually down to the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. So what are the symptoms of mental exhaustion? Well, there are many. We feel sapped of energy. We feel kind of inert, apathetic. We feel tired all the time. Even when we wake up in the morning, we feel tired. After a meal, we still think, well, I just have no energy. The things that would normally be signs of, oh, I'm rested, I've had a night's sleep, I've got energy because I've just eaten some really healthy foods, they're not there. We feel tired all the time. We feel incredibly unproductive. We feel like we're in a fog. We can spend ages reading the same piece of paperwork and just nothing is going in. We can feel incredibly emotional, and that can come out as sadness, being very teary, can be angry. We can be completely irrational, losing it like that, and really not in control of our emotions very well at all. We can feel completely detached from other people, from reality, the things that gave us joy. It just isn't working. And there are many other symptoms too. And of course, one of those symptoms on their own does not mean you're suffering from mental exhaustion. But if you have several of them, more than 4, then you probably are suffering with mental exhaustion. You can even go into burnout, and that's not a place you want to go. So that's what the symptoms are, but what causes mental exhaustion? Well, it's caused by our modern day issues. Stress is a huge cause of mental exhaustion. I'm always stressed, I'm always thinking of what else I've got to do. I wake up and my mind is running, I go to bed, it's still running, I can't relax because I'm stressed. I've got stress, I'm in stress. I didn't even know what stress is, but my doctor said, you've got stress. Now I know I've got stress, but what is stress? Well, it's really you're running on adrenaline. You're like the battery of your phone, but you're never recharging. If you took a phone, I'll charge it for 5 minutes, and then use it for 2 hours, and then charge it again, that doesn't work. You are like a battery. You have to recharge yourself. But that's very hard when you're under pressure, tremendous pressure to get things done, when you're overworked, and when people are dependent on you to produce. Now, most people think of stress and overwork and pressure as something we get from our job, and that's very valid, but some people are like that at home. I work with women who choose to be at-home parents, but they are very stressed. The house has to be perfect, the kids have to be perfect. They're always worrying, always doing the what if, and always living in the future, thinking, I need to work towards a better future. Well, the future isn't here. You have to live in the right now. So it's the pressure you put upon yourself that causes stress. You may have a very demanding boss that says, deliver this and that, and I need it now. But when you take a deep breath and go, look, I work an 8-hour day, I love my job, this is what I can deliver in 8 hours. Unfortunately, you've given me 4 jobs that I just cannot complete. So you have to look at what's realistic. Do not overpromise and underdeliver, because that's what is causing your stress. You're giving yourself too much to do, not enough time, living on coffee, not having enough sleep. And these things make you even more stressed. So stress, your own internal pressure, the belief that you've got to deliver for everybody else what they require of you. I see many kids who are under mental pressure, mental exhaustion, because they believe, I've got to get straight A's. I need to do this for my parents. I see many athletes are under that same mental exhaustion because I must deliver. I've got to get it right. I can't let people down. Everyone expects so much of me. and the pressure is overwhelming. And I know what that's like when people expect a lot from you. We all know what it's like. But the only person who can stop that is you. So how do you cure mental exhaustion? First of all, you need to take a reality check and be realistic. There are 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. What can I realistically do? You need to divide your day into work time and no work time. And if you have a demanding job, when you go home, you need to leave your work at home. You need to really be present with your children, with your partner, even with yourself. You need to switch off. You need to think, okay, when I come in from work, I take my work clothes off. Maybe I have a bath, a shower, a coffee, a phone call, but I'm doing something that separates work from home time. And even if you work from home, you still need to think, right, I'm going to switch the computer off and I'm going to put on the radio and I'm going to symbolize to myself, work is over. This is my time. Now, I've written books and I know what that's like to work all day and all night because of a deadline. And you may say, look, that all sounds great. I've got to start up my own business. I can't just switch off at 5 o'clock. I've got to work 16 hours a day for a while, and I understand that. And you know what? You can do anything if it has an end date. So if you are in that position of having to work 16 hours, you need to say, this has an ending. I'm doing this for 3 weeks. I'm doing this for a month. I'm doing this for 2 months, but it will end. We can cope with anything, even pain, when we know it has an end date. It's a bit like giving birth. This is not fun, but hey, I'm producing a baby. I'm running a marathon. Everything hurts, but I'm going to get to that finishing line. Mental exhaustion is its worst when you say things like, this is never going to end. This is going on forever. I'm drowning in stress. I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So if you are in mental exhaustion, take a look at your language. Do you say things like, this is killing me? I'm dying under this workload. I am stressed out of my mind. I feel like I'm going insane with tiredness. I can't get on top of this. The minute I answer 10 emails, 102 more come in and it's killing me. I'm at my maximum bandwidth. I'm running out of rope. You see, when you use those very descriptive words, they become a blueprint that unfortunately you start to work from. So you need to say something entirely different. There's a lot of work on here, but I'm going to get through this bit by bit. I have phenomenal coping skills. I can do this. I've got this. It won't be like this for long. For something to get you, to give you mental exhaustion, it has to be permanent. It has to be personal, and it has to be all pervasive. That means it must go on all the time. And you have to say, right, you know, this workload is heavy and it's kind of all consuming, but it's not permanent. I won't be working like this for the next 2 years. It's not personal. I chose it, or my boss gave me this work because he wanted me to do something amazing. And it's not all pervasive. When I'm in the bath, when I'm having a lovely dinner, when I'm sleeping, when I'm having sex with someone, I'm not actually in this mental exhaustion. The problem is we say things like, this is consuming my life. This is happening all the time, 24 hours a day. You know, I meet clients who say, I've eaten 24 hours a day, and I go, really? Is that really true? Did you pee? Yes. Well, then you didn't eat in the toilet, did you? No. Did you sleep? Yeah, I did. So you didn't really eat 24 hours a day? No, but I feel like I did. But that's not the same. So listen to your language. Do you say, this is consuming me, this never ends, I can't see an end? Is that I'm working 24 hours a day, I'm going insane with tiredness, stress, fatigue. People want so much of me, I just can't deliver. Change that language. People want a lot of me, they expect a lot, and I can deliver. But I'm going to be realistic with what I can deliver. If I'm working for myself, I'll deliver more. But I can see the goal. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And no matter how bad it is, I will take breaks. So when you're working on the computer and you're looking like that, you have to stop and look as far away as you can to rest your eyes. You must take breaks and go outside or just move around, because you need that. Because at school, of course, you have work, recess, because we all work better. We work, take a break, work, take a break. So do the things that are good for you. Work, take breaks. While you're working, say things like, wow, I'm making progress. I can see that I'm getting through this. I feel so good. I've completed that task. I'm making headway here. I feel really productive. Even if it isn't true, say the things that will help you, not hurt you. Gosh, I'm making a difference. I feel so good. I completed that task. I feel so great. I made a dent in that, and I'll make another dent, and I'm getting there, and I feel good. See the ending. You must be able to see the ending. We can cope with anything when we can see an ending. You know, I worked a lot with prisoners, and what was interesting is that the people on remand did worse than those who were sentenced. Those who were sentenced could see an ending. Waiting for the sentence was much, much worse. So our human nature says, if I can see an ending, I can cope. So you must decide, oh, I can see an ending, and you must decide to take downtime. You must take time to sleep. You must hydrate. You must eat well. You can't work and live on coffee and candy bars. You need to at least have some healthy food. I had an experience years ago. I was writing one of my first books. It was due to be submitted. I had to submit the whole book on the 31st of August. Suddenly my publisher said, actually, we're bringing it forwards. Can you submit it on August the 7th? It's like, wow, that's 3 weeks early. And I thought that was going to be really hard, and it was hard. I had to get up in the morning and write and write and write. And I would stop at about midnight or less and just sleep, work. But I could do it because it was 3 weeks, only 3 weeks. And I was living on bananas and smoothies, but still healthy food. I was so busy typing I didn't get to eat, but I ordered jars of protein powder, and I'd whiz those up and put an avocado and a banana in it. And it was very important. I had to eat right. I had to hydrate. I had to sleep. When I finished writing, I took myself to bed. I didn't watch TV. I didn't read a magazine, but I kept all of the stuff I would normally read in a bag. I taped all my favorite shows. I was thinking, wow, in 3 weeks, it's going to take a whole day. I'm going to read all my newspapers, watch all my shows. And that 3 weeks ended. I submitted it. I also realized that I could submit my manuscript on that day. There's no way my publisher could read it all, and I still had a few more days. And then I could say, oh, I sent you the wrong one. Here's the real one, because I could buy a little bit of extra time. Not much, but enough. And when it was over, I felt so great. It's like running a marathon. You keep thinking, I'm going to feel so good when I accomplish this. I'm going to feel so great when I do this. If you run a marathon, you can only finish it by seeing the end, seeing the ticker tape, hearing the crowds cheer your name is how you complete a difficult task. You must see the ending. You must be your own cheerleader. Praise yourself. You're doing a great job. You're doing great here. You're making amazing headway. I'm really proud of you. So the cure is to praise yourself, to take breaks, to look after yourself, to care for yourself, to nurture yourself, build your praise muscle, see the end, because there is an end in sight. And do not compare yourself. Don't think, well, everyone else is doing better. How come other writers churn out a book, run 6 companies, go home and raise 3 kids and homeschool? Don't compare yourself. You are unique. You're doing it on your schedule. You do not need to compare yourself to anyone ever. Do it your way. It will absolutely work, but please don't go into burnout. There really is no need.
What I'm going to do with you today is I'm going to take you first through the rules of the mind. they're my rules of the mind. I made them up, but I made them up over 33 years. And somebody said to me once, well, who are you to make this up? I went, well, someone's got to do it. I think 33 years of working with royalty and Olympic athletes gives me the right to say, these are the rules of the mind. And if ever you're stuck with a client, stuck with a child, stuck with an adult that needs some help, and you think, oh, I don't know what to do, take them through the rules of the mind, because it actually blows their mind. They go, well, I never knew that. I didn't understand that. And we will come after the rules of the mind to language patterns. Now, I've given you some slides on language patterns that are really for young children, but they also are very effective for adults. So let's do a quick little language thing right now. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to go, I'm going to try to remember these rules of the mind. I'm going to try so hard to memorize it. If only I could memorize that document. I wish I had a better memory. I hope I can remember that when I'm working with my own client. I really hope I can do what she does. I wish I could do it. I hope to do it. I'm going to try to do it. I really want to do it. And just focus on how you feel when you use the word wish, which is wishy-washy. I don't like wish. Wishing says to your mind, you haven't got a prayer, but you might as well wish. Because wishing just says, you're not going to do that. Oh, I wish. No one says, I wish I could get up in the morning and clean my teeth. I wish I could pick up that pencil and write a note. You don't say wish, you go, I'm doing it. So when you say to the mind, I wish I could, it says, yeah, me too. Get over it. When you say to the mind, I hope I get this right, it goes, yeah, well, keep hoping, because you're not going to do that. When you go, if only, your mind goes, well, you never managed it before, so keep on with the if only, why don't you? But when you do it differently, close your eyes again and go, I will memorize this. It's going in. I have a phenomenal memory. My memory is awesome. I read things and they empower me and they stick. I am remembering it all. I do this. I've got it. I have a phenomenal memory. I have incredible powers of recall and assimilation. And I remember everything. It has a totally different effect. And so you learn with language. I never let my clients say wish. I won't allow them to say the word but. I could do that, but. No, we never say but. And we also never say should. My therapist said to me, excuse me swearing, should is shit, and never use that word. I should. I say I could. I should go to the gym. I could go to the gym, but I know it's my fault. I'm not making the effort. So with young children, just changing one word will change their life. I'll give you an example. My little girl would go to school, and she'd get to the gate, and she'd come back, and I'd always say, what have you remembered? Could have said, what have you forgotten? There's only 2 words. What have you? She goes, I've remembered my swimming kit. I've remembered my book. I've remembered my PE. I go, that's fantastic. You have such a great memory that when you get to the gate, you remember and back you come. And very quickly, she didn't have to come back because I never said, what have you forgotten today? Oh my God, your mind is like a sieve. What's wrong with you? You get to the gate. And I never do that, and you forget. Why can't you be like me? I have my little bag by the door. I put everything the night before, and I never did that. I said, what have you remembered? So here's just one word. And my clients really taught me the power of words, because I'd see the ones who'd come and go, I wish I could do that. Oh, thanks, Marisa, for all this. I could do that, but I know I ought to do that, and I should, but. And so I started banning words. I said, when you come in this office, you're not allowed to go wish, but, hope. I work a lot with infertile women, and the ones who don't get pregnant always say that, I wish I could get pregnant. And then when they get pregnant, they say, I'm so scared of losing it. I'm not going to tell anyone just in case I lose it. I'm like, well, but what are you saying to your baby? It's in the womb. The most developed sense is hearing. I'm not even going to tell anyone you're here because I have no faith you're going to make it. I go, how about sending the scans out to your parents and showing them, this is my baby, it's staying, my body made it, my body is so super smart. My body is going to carry this baby to full term. This is my one chance in the world to be God. I'm making a miracle here. And my body is growing that baby physically, and I'm growing and nurturing that baby emotionally, and every day I tell it, today your spine is forming. This week your mouth and lips are forming and your ears are forming, and it sends a message to the brain that goes, this is working, whereas running to the bathroom every hour to just see if you're spotting, saying, oh, I'm really scared of losing it, sends a message to the mind. And one of the rules of the mind, and it's the best rule, is that every thought you think and every word you say forms a blueprint, and your mind must work to make that blueprint real. So when you say, I can't remember anything, I'd lose the eyes in the back of my head if they weren't fixed in there, because I just can't remember anything. Your mind goes, that's a blueprint. Let me take you to it. And when you say, my memory is phenomenal, foolproof. In fact, I'm like human Google. When I read an exam, the minute I read the question, my mind has already gone to work, found the answer, and it stays in my head right through until I write it on the paper. Then I read the next question. The same thing happens as I read the question. Google says, here's the answer. I work with children all the time with exam stress, and they come in. I was a little boy last year who had, I think there were 17 children applied for every place in his school, and he flunked the mocks. And I'm like, darling, you're supposed to flunk the mocks. It's great to flunk the mocks. You know what mocks are, don't you? Oh, so in England, when you're taking an exam, you have a mock exam, maybe 6 weeks before you take the exam, just to see how you do. And then they say, well, you did terribly, you did really well. And because you did really well, you're going to pass that exam. And because you did terribly, you're going to fail. In fact, the ones who do well in the mocks get so complacent, they often don't do so well in the actual exam. And the ones who do badly think, wow, I need to up my game. I need to revise more and study more. So when he came in and said, my mummy was so upset because I got really bad marks in the mocks, I went, that's fantastic. What were you worse on? He said that the writing, what did you do? So I didn't read the instructions correctly, and I didn't use the right words. I went, that's fantastic. So what did you need to do? And just by changing his language, I didn't use the right words, and explaining to him that he could do it, and telling him that his mind was like Google. Then I was asking him some questions about Harry Potter. And I said, how do you know these answers? Have you studied Harry Potter? He went, no, I just really like it. I said, well, see how clever your mind is. So when you're working with a kid that says, I don't know, ask them about James Bond. Ask them about something that they like and go, how do you know this? They go, I don't know. How do you know? Wow, you're so smart. Because when they like something, they remember. And part of school is liking something. So with this little kid, he got into that school. I knew he'd get in because he came in like that and he left like that. He was like, I'm going to nail this. I know what to do. My mind is like Google. And I will say to all my clients, whether they're a 7-year-old taking an exam or someone taking a medical exam or the bar, I say, whatever you're reading, your focus narrows down. You say the word narrow down, and when you say narrow down, everything fades away. You're absorbed in that paper. You have phenomenal powers of concentration, comprehension, recall, retention, and assimilation. And I say words that help you do the next one. Comprehension, comprehension, retention, recall, assimilation. I say it over and over again because the mind believes what you tell it. So let's go through the rules of the mind. Here is the first one. What is expected tends to be realized. When you say to a child, I don't know what's wrong with you. Your brother was in my class last year and he was so good. Why can't you learn? Why can't you sit still? Why are you so disruptive? What is wrong with you? You're making words that form a child's blueprint. And exactly the same for adults. I'm referring this a lot to children, but for the therapists here, those children come in as your clients. But it's just the same for adult. If your boss says to you, can you do this? And you go, oh my God, I'm going to have to race through it, and I'm going to have to rush it. I haven't got enough time to prepare. I know I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to go on stage, open my mouth and go, Well, when you say that, it tends to be realized. And here's one of my favorite rules of the mind. The mind responds to words that make a picture. So in America, they were giving these kids pencils called "Don't Do Drugs." And as they sharpened them, the word "don't" disappeared. And they said, "Do drugs." Not very smart. Needed to put that the other way around. What is expected tends to be realized. When a child is doing something like climbing a tree, and the mother goes, "You're going to fall, you're going to break your leg, oh my God, you're going to break your ankle," you can make that happen. And when you say to the child, "Now, I know you're climbing the tree. Look where you're putting your hands. Look where you're going to place your feet. Focus on what you're doing," that will be realized. So in powerful language, you can never say, "You're going to fall, you're going to mess that up, you're going to ruin everything." That's just not going to work out. You have to say the opposite. "Okay, I've only got 10 minutes to prepare my speech. I only need 10 minutes. I've only got 10 minutes to get there. That's exactly how much time I need. And if I'm late, I wasn't supposed to be there on time." I have a belief now, when I get to a party late, it's because I wasn't meant to get there early. I no longer go, "Oh my God, I'm so late. This is going to be terrible." In fact, I was recently going in a cab across town to get a train to work with a football team. And we got stuck in traffic. And so I was playing a game. I thought, "Oh my God, I'm going to miss the train. This is terrible. I'm going to ruin my reputation. The team are going to be so upset." And I felt really sick. And then I started to say, the trains run every 20 minutes. It doesn't matter. What's 20 minutes? My material's so great. They have lots of time. After all, they finished practicing at 3 o'clock. And it was fine. So all the way there, I was playing a game, and I actually got the train on time, but they really wouldn't have minded. But I could have ruined my day, made myself panicky and sweaty by going, "Oh my God, I haven't got enough time," and now it's all ruined. And it's never ruined. You can come back from anything. And then I worked with a client who had cancer and had to go into this MRI scanner. And every time I saw him, he said, I can't do it. I can't get in that scanner. And he said, "Well, I feel like I'm in my coffin. I feel like it's a premonition of my death. And when I get in the scanner, I think, well, I've got cancer and I'm going to die." And I said, "Well, I freak out. I press the button, I have to come out." And they keep saying, "Look, you've got to." I can't even be in there for 2 seconds, which is not true. When people say, I can't do it for even a second, he probably was in there for a few minutes. I said, "Look, the words you say to yourself in that scanner, this is a premonition of my death. I feel like I'm in a coffin. I feel like I'm suffocating and I can't do it." That's a blueprint. And your mind doesn't like those words. So how about these words? How about saying, "I'm in my bed at home and I'm just so chilled and I could lie here for hours. I'm chilled, I'm relaxed, I'm blissed out." You must use words that make a picture. You can't go, "Oh, I'm okay, really. I'm quite good. I'm not bad. This is okay." Because when I say the words "okay," "not bad," what's the picture? There's no picture. It's what I call fluff. When you say, "I'm chilled, I'm blissed out, I'm ecstatic, I'm just lying here and I could do this for hours, it's just so cool," the mind goes, "You're right." And when you go, "I'm in a coffin and I'm suffocating," the mind goes, "You're right." See, here's the great thing. You can choose any words you like. You can go, "Well, we're all going to be negative and this half's going to be positive." That's your choice. You know what you can't choose? What you do to yourself when you say, "I'm an idiot, I'm a moron, I'm a retard, I've got rocks for brains, everything goes wrong. Who would ever like me? I've got cellulite, I'm a single parent, I've got no chance. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't go to college, so I couldn't possibly do what you do." I got kicked out of college, by the way, so you can definitely do what I do. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I can look at my life and say being fired, being dumped, and being kicked out of college, thank you, God, for putting that up to me, because it changed my life. It was the best thing. Rejection has been one of the best things that ever happened to me. Being the least favorite kid, if I could have my life again, I'd go back and be the least favorite kid, because I thought, I'm going to show my parents that I'm something. And if I was the favorite, I wouldn't have done that. I would have had a totally different life. So with my client, I was saying, these words are really important. So he got in the scanner, he stayed there for hours, and he said that when he came out, all the nurses and doctors came in and gave him a standing ovation. He said it was more powerful than his last business deal because he felt so good. Some years later, I had to go in a scanner. I thought, well, I'm just going to play with this. I love playing with words. So I lay there, and I was going, I'm so chilled. This is so good. How many of us would say, I'd love 20 minutes to myself? Well, here I am. 20 minutes to myself. I can lie here and do nothing. No one's going, can you proof this copy? Can you answer this email? Can you speak to this client? My daughter's going, Mummy, my boiler's broken in my apartment. Can you come over right now and fix it? I had 20 minutes to myself. And I was going, I'm so chilled. And then I thought, let's do the opposite. So I was going, I'm in a coffin. I've got claustrophobia. I feel like I'm trapped. And all the buzzers went off, and I didn't even know I was moving. And then they speak to her, like, Marisa, you have to lie completely still. Stop moving. So I had to go back into I'm chilled, I'm ecstatic, I'm blissed out. And I love doing that. And it's a really good thing to do to yourself. I'm late, I've ruined everything. I have all the time I need. You see, you have a choice. Every day you get to choose how to speak to yourself. But you know what you don't get to choose? What you do to your body when you say, I'm an idiot. I knew I'd mess that up. I knew that relationship wouldn't work. I've been waiting for it to go wrong. In fact, the day we got married, I stuck stickers on all my stuff so that when we got divorced, there'd be no confusion. I was already planning the miscarriage. I didn't buy anything for my baby. I mean, who does that? Lots of people, apparently. They're all my clients, and they plan for stuff to go wrong. They say, I sent my kid to college, and I said, don't worry, you're probably going to hate it. Here's a credit card so you can get a return ticket back in a week's time. They plan it, and you don't want to plan it. You want to ban it. So words are really powerful. You can choose to be negative or positive. That's your choice, but you cannot choose what you do to yourself when you use negative language. So the first rule of the mind, what you expect is realized. Who thinks that's true? So here's my advice to you. Expect amazing things then. If what is expected tends to be realized, expect the best. Expect love and success and an amazing life, because you know what? It will probably be realized really fast if you expect it. Imagination is more powerful than knowledge when dealing with your own mind and the mind of others. If I said to any of you, come and stand on this chair, who would come and stand on this chair? I'll give you $100 to stand on this chair. Sure. If I said, well, now the chair is on top of that spire on the highest building in Tallinn, who's going to climb up and stand on it for $100? Who would do that? Some people would, because they've got a good imagination. They go, if I can stand on it there, I can stand. And most people go, no, I could fall. If we had a little tiny plank up here, you can walk the plank when it's on the floor. Put the plank between two high-rise buildings. Who's going to walk it? Not many people, because the imagination that you could fall and kill yourself is way more powerful than the knowledge that I did this on the ground. It's wide enough. Fear of flying. Knowledge says it's actually the safest place in the world. The most dangerous part of a flight is actually the drive to the airport. That's way more dangerous than being in the plane. Do you think the imagination cares? We'll go, I'm in a flying coffin. I'm hurtling through the air, and that guy looks like he's come straight out of ISIS, and he's in the bar. I think he's going to blow up the plane. And then you feel terrible. The other person's going, I'm watching a movie. I've always wanted to watch The Shape of Water. This is so great. Here's my time again to do nothing. So whatever you imagine will defeat logic, will defeat knowledge. And when dealing with children, people do logical stuff. Why are you so bad? Why can't you get it? What's going on? Why are you so naughty? And that doesn't work. I never say to kids, why are you bad? I go, what happened to you? I was working with a little kid recently who always played up before lunch and would get hysterical after every meal. And I'd actually been in an orphanage in Zimbabwe, and I'd seen that a lot, that at the end of the meals, the kids start weeping uncontrollably because they don't know when the next meal is coming. And they go, look, you're in an orphanage, it's fine. We have food, you'll be fed 3 times a day. It takes about 2 years for those children to stop crying as they remove the plates because the emotion is, when's the next meal coming? So this little boy was really difficult at school, and he'd been to 3 different schools. And one of the teachers contacted me, and I said, when does he do it? She said, well, he always does it before meals. And I said, you should ask him, not why he does it, but what happened to him. And then the mother came in and said, well, I adopted him at 1. He was born to crackheads. And he used to cry when I left the room. And when I read his notes, his parents would leave the room for 3 days. And he didn't get fed very much. And so he's got this panic about not being fed. And I said, well, you should tell the school that. And of course, you can't logically say to a child, look, you're going to be fed every 4 hours. You have to go, look, you have some memories. They're really sad, but Mummy is going to put some nuts in your bag, and you're always going to have something. And you can't do it logically because feeling is more powerful than logic. The feeling you're going to die on a plane will always wipe out the logic. This is the safest way to travel. One of my clients said, please help me. She said, I've done the logic. I went to British Airways flying course. I walked into the cockpit wearing shorts, and I lost control of my bowels in front of everyone. Now I'm even more scared about flying because this was a course to make you better. They were logically showing me all the controls. When they said they were taking off, I had a terrible accident. I knew it was bad because the pilot put a mask on and I had to be taken off that plane, and now I'm even further back from ever flying because logic doesn't work. Emotion does. And so I would talk to her and say, you know, you have to pretend you're at the fun fair. You have to say when you're on the plane, I love it. Oh my God, flying thrills me. It elates me. It empowers me. It delights me. I love flying. Your mind goes, you're right. And when you go, I'm going to be blown out of the sky to smithereens, your mind goes, you're right. Because here's another rule of the mind. It does not care if what you do is right or wrong, good or bad, true or false, healthy or unhealthy. It just lets it in. So let me show you. Put your hand in front of your mouth. You may have done this before, but let's do it again. Put your hand in front of your mouth like you're about to eat. Close your eyes. And imagine you have a big, fat, juicy, gorgeous lemon in your hand. I want you to breathe in that gorgeous, gorgeous lemon smell. I want you to squish that lemon and feel the waxy surface. Open your mouth, still with your eyes closed. Shove that lemon in your mouth and eat it. I want you to bite the flesh of that lemon, suck out the flesh, suck out the lemon, start chewing it, eating it. Eat that whole entire half of a lemon. Keep going, keep sucking, chewing, and swallowing. And open your eyes. And put your hand up if you made saliva. So here's a question for you. Where was the lemon? Where was it? Say that again. Yeah, people say there wasn't one. Oh, there was. There definitely was a lemon. It was in your imagination. You know there's no lemon. You go, what's going on here? I know there's no lemon. Why am I pumping out saliva and going like that? What am I doing that for? I know it's not there. But your mind believes it. The mind will believe everything you tell it. Tell it great things.
Some years ago, I'd written a book on weight loss, and I couldn't get it published. So I found a literary agent, but in the meantime, I was so bored with waiting. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do what Wayne Dyer did, create my own audience and self-publish this book. And I'd actually decided to do weight loss roadshows, and I created one. I put it on, and it didn't sell any tickets, well, about 10 tickets, and I cancelled it. And the same day I cancelled, my new agent called and said, hey, that thing you're doing at the weekend, I've got HarperCollins coming and Penguin and all these publishers. I'm like, oh my God, I cancelled it. She said, put it back on. They're all coming. I'm like, right, okay. So I immediately put the course back on, let the people know that I was still doing it, rang around everyone, gave away free tickets. And then I had a choice. Should I sit down tonight and plan out my course? No. I created a vision board of something like that, and I put on all these pictures of my book being a bestseller. I took the Sunday Times bestseller list and stuck it on there and put my book at the top. I wrote all over it, Marisa Peer's book is a bestseller, everyone wants to sign this book. And I spent ages doing my vision board, and it was all ready to go. And the next day I turned up and I did my talk with no preparation. And when I finished, I Google and Penguin and HarperCollins all lining up saying, oh, we so want to sign your book. And I signed it, and I got way more money, triple, maybe even more than I ever imagined I could get. And I still had that vision board, and I was so thrilled with it. I went home and I thought, let me add some stuff. So I put on a picture of somebody with a Tiffany ring behind their back. I put a picture of a beautiful wedding. I put a picture of a hot air balloon over Egypt, a cruise. And I wrote lots of things on it, like Marisa Peer is the best therapist in the world. I put it above my bed. And you know what? Almost every single thing on that board came true. I was engaged and married 10 months later. I did take a hot air balloon right over the pyramids in Egypt. It was so romantic. I've been on several cruises. Everything on that board came true. And so today I want you to have a vision board. Why do I want you to have one so much? Well, I want you to have one because they work. Why do they work? Well, you see, whatever you focus on, you get more of. If you have a needle put in your arm and you look at it, you go, oh, it really hurts. But if you don't look, you focus less. When you focus on eating food blindfolded, it tastes better. Whatever you focus on, it increases. And a vision board trains your mind to focus on what you want with an absolute belief, I'm getting it. The pictures make you think, I am achieving it. There was a study that showed the brain patterns of weightlifters lifting heavy weights were almost identical when they lifted the weights and when they visualized lifting the weights. When I used to do yoga, we'd do a yoga exercise, then we'd close our eyes and visualize doing that same exercise but being more flexible. You know what happened? Our flexibility increased. Let me show you what happens when you visualize. Put your arm out like that. I'm using my left arm. Use your right one. And just swing your left arm behind you as far as it will go. See, I'm pushing mine really to the limit. Do it with me. Push your arm behind you. Bring it back. Close your eyes and visualize your arm going much further with your eyes closed. Say to yourself, my arm is super flexible. All these muscles and tendons and ligaments are so flexible. I'm like a bendy doll. I'm like a gymnast. And now say to your arm, go a third further. You are super flexible. Say it. Say it again. Go a third further. You're super flexible. And now swing your arm back and see what happens. Your arm will go way, way, way further simply because you saw it happening. So that thing with your arm is just showing you that when you visualize, you actually make something real. You visualized your arm being more flexible and you made that real. If you visualize eating a lemon, you make saliva. So when you make a mood board, all kinds of amazing things happen. Why don't we make mood boards? Well, here's the thing. You might go, you know, I live in an apartment with 3 friends and I'm embarrassed to have a mood board with pictures of engagement rings or weddings or puppies or kittens. I'm embarrassed for my friends to see my inner hopes and dreams. So I also have a mood book. And a mood book is pretty cool. It means you just do the same thing, you stick in pictures. But let's start with a vision board. Come back to the vision book. So I'm going to start with a picture of a relationship. You see, if you want love, then do that. And keep looking and say, I'm going to find someone that looks at me like that. And love doesn't have any age. So there's loads of pictures of people that aren't 25 with perfect thighs finding love. So the first thing is find an image of what you want. A couple on a cruise together. A couple running a business together, and just stick that up in any old fashion. Doesn't have to be neat. Look at it and say, I am attracting that. That's where I'm going. Me and my perfect partner are walking along the beach together at sunset. I do apologize, these are all heterosexual couples, some of my best friends. gay couples, but I just didn't have time to find that. But I did find this. A bunch of guys out on a boat together. What does that mean? Well, that could mean I have great friends. I look at that as a successful company. Rather annoying there's no women in it, but nevertheless, I want success. Here's me and my team going out on a boat doing a team building exercise. I create my own company, and this is my staff. I do recommend you have men and women in there together. Maybe it's friendship, and you know, friendship's so important. Here's me and all my friends having a fabulous dinner together. So you see how it is. I'm making a very generic mood board. But you can make one just about business. I want to write a book. Let's have pictures of books and bestseller lists and put your book in it. Maybe this is about you building your own business. Here's someone building a business in sales. Here's someone building a business as a DJ. That's pretty cool. A woman DJ, there's plenty of those. So you get the picture. You get the picture. Maybe you want to be super healthy, so just putting in a yoga class, just putting in paddleboarding, something I do every single day, or horse riding. Oh, I'm out of, let me add that. That can go here. So just the horse riding. So you see, you're getting the picture. Maybe you want to be super healthy. You could put up a picture of a great body. The kind of food you would like to eat. You see, if you put up pictures of great vegetables and look at them, you start to, you know what? I need to cook that. I need to learn how to do that. I'm going to start cooking those great vegetables. So you can really put anything at all on your vision board. You can put up pictures of a business success. You can put up pictures of the kind of body you want to have, the kind of food you'd like to eat, the kind of exercise you want to do. Here's a pool. So I'm going to swim every day. Here's another pool. Here's the kind of bedroom I want to have in my house. Here's the kind of house I want to have. Here's the kind of stomach I want to have. Here's another house that I would like to have. And on it goes. Here's the boat trips I want to go on. And of course we all want to travel. So lots of images of having a great massage, having a lovely car in the drive of my house, having a car where I can go camping. All these places I want to visit. I've been here, it's amazing. And you just put them up on your board and then you write all over it. So that's really important. I am lovable. I am with my perfect, with my one. I love exercise. I have fabulous friends. Ignore my writing, I'm doing this rather quickly. I'm super healthy. You can write all over your vision board. I'm healthy, I'm loved, I'm enough, I'm successful. I have great friends. What I want wants me. And again, if you don't want your friends to see that, then create a book. I was just on a plane and I read about this private lounge at LAX. I'm like, oh, I want to go to that private lounge. And I thought, no, I'm going to that private lounge. So this private lounge at LAX, I would cut that out and put it in my book. And because I travel so much and I don't take my vision board with me, I have a vision book and I have images like that to remind me to eat better, to work out, to remind me to use all the herbs and spices that are good for my immune system, to remind me that I love Santorini. And you can create a little vision board book, and if you're on the road a lot, it's actually a better idea. As long as you do this, you have to, of course, open it, look at it and say, I am going there, I am doing that, I am having that. And it might help you know that Jim Carrey, when his career was not going well, put a vision board of himself doing phenomenally well, having another great movie. Oprah Winfrey has a vision board. Kelly Hoppen has the vision board. In fact, she said every year, I don't do New Year's resolutions. Every year on January the 1st, I do a new vision board. I put out my vision for that year. I'm going to move, and here's the kind of apartment I want, the kind of client I want. So you can have a vision board, you can have a vision book. If you have a vision board, you can't hide it under the bed. Get it out, put it above your bed, and look at it every day. Only when I looked at my board every day did I one day think, wow. After I got married, I thought, I should kind of take this down now, but I left it up for a long time. And then I thought, every single thing on this board has come true. So you have to look at it. If you have a vision book, look at it, write in it. And of course you update it. You think, you know what? I've got a new vision now. With my vision board, it has a glass in front of it. And I don't take it apart. I just stick things on top of the glass with blue tack. I write on it in magic marker. I write on it. Marisa Peer's book is a bestseller, whatever the title of the book. My new book, Tell Yourself a Better Lie, I write on my board, Tell Yourself a Better Lie by Marisa Peer, is a bestseller, a runaway bestseller. I might have a picture of someone at an airport reading a book, and I'll simply Tipp-Ex out, white out their book and write out my book, Tell Yourself a Better Lie. I could take a picture of a bookshop window with all books in, go home, and I will change that picture, even though I'm just drawing it, so my book is the one in the window. I took my daughter to Waterstone's bookshop in London. I said, darling, in a few months, Mummy's book is going to be filling this window. I didn't know that, but I described it to her. It came true, and we had the greatest joy in taking a picture of me and her standing outside Waterstones like that, and the window was full of my book. You have to see it. What the mind sees, it moves towards. What you focus on, you get more of. When you have a vision board or a vision book, it makes you visualize every day. Every time you look at it, you're visualizing. Every time you open your book, you are visualizing. And as you visualize, the world of possibilities opens up. And as you see the image of your book, your speaking gig, your business, your startup, because you're seeing it every day, you suddenly think, you know what? I need to take action. I keep looking at this image of me with my own business, signing checks, signing books, getting awards. I now need to take action. So visualizing alone isn't quite enough. But when you have a vision board and see you with the life you want, it inspires you to take action. It also fires you to believe that of course you can have it. If you can see it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, it's inside of you. And the vision board takes it outside of you. So you look at it, focus on it, make it real. If you want your own home and you have images on a vision board, you'll start to think of ways you are going to find your own home. In fact, there are studies that say that 82% of businesses who use the vision board said within a year, 50% of what was on their vision board had already become real. Think about that. This is a business person, not woo-woo. They had vision boards within a year. 50% of their visions had already occurred, and if they can do it, you can do it. Only habits hold you back. Make a great habit of making a vision board, a vision book. It would change your life, just like it changed mine. Don't hesitate, start now. Get lots of magazines, get some pens. And another thing you can do, which is great, is you can have a vision board on Pinterest. You can use your computer screen as your vision board. You can use your phone screen as your vision board. You can go to Pinterest and pin all the things you want. And now it's on your computer. It should be your screensaver. It's on your phone. And you can print it out into a big poster, put it above your bed, put it above your desk, put it into your vision book. Look at it every day, and in no time at all, what you want will be right in front of you, because what you want wants you. What you are moving towards is moving towards you. Make your vision board so that you can see what you want, move towards it, Here's a question that's just come in. I'm going to read it straight off my computer and answer it for all of you because I believe we all share the same issue. So here it is. Hi Marissa. I took a low-paid, low-effort job a year ago as a temporary fix, but I'm now finding it so hard to motivate myself to apply for a job that would challenge me. I don't want to settle, but everything in me seems to want to stay comfortable. How can I change this? Well, first of all, you need to understand human nature. We are hardwired to keep going back to what is familiar and to resist what is unfamiliar for one reason only. 100 years ago, 500 years ago, that made us safe. Imagine you lived in a fort on a prairie. You weren't going to wander off and try and meet some other people because they might kill you. So our mind fears change. And we fear change for several reasons. First of all, what if I change and it should change for the worse? What if I can't control the direction of change in my life? And we settle in a relationship, we settle in a career. I don't love this job, but hey, what if the next one is worse? What if I lose all the benefits I've built up in this job? So you need to really start to dialogue with your mind and understand what you're doing. I tell people all the time, because it is so true, to understand your mind, understand this. Your mind does what it thinks you want it to do. Every time you say to a friend, well, you know, the security's good and I like getting holiday pay and I don't love this job, but it's really easy, it doesn't challenge me. You're telling your mind, actually, I want to stay where I am. You're finding it hard to motivate yourself. Here's a classic mistake people make. They believe that motivation will appear. One day they'll wake up motivated. That simply isn't true. In order to be motivated, you have to take action. Action comes before motivation. Motivation doesn't come before action. The good news is you said that you actually don't want to settle, but you want to stay comfortable. Here's some advice. I want you to make what is comfortable uncomfortable and what is uncomfortable comfortable. So look at what you're saying. I'm comfortable. I'm safe here. It's safe, it's comfortable, and you need to decide that that's not good enough. Imagine 10, 15 years down the line, you're still in this safe, comfortable job. The fact that it's safe and comfortable make it uncomfortable. So you need to decide, okay, what kind of job do I want? Start exciting your imagination. What would make my heart sing? What would challenge me? What would make me grow? What would excite me? What would I be proud of saying to my friends and kids and family I am doing for a living? As you begin to excite your imagination and really make that a goal, you'll start to think of ways to go out and find that job. So often we resist change in case we're not safe. But it's not enough in life to be safe. You need to be challenged. You need to take a risk. Here's the truth. The only risk in life is never taking a risk. That's the biggest risk of all. So remember, you fear what's unfamiliar. That's normal. And here's how to overcome that so well. You need to start dialoguing with your mind. Hey, mind, I want to make applying for a new job familiar. I want to challenge myself, to stretch myself, to do something out of my comfort zone, and I want to make that familiar, super familiar, so familiar, and I want to make settling really unfamiliar and even uncomfortable. Because what you're doing is you're reversing it. I'm comfortable staying where I am. Why don't I start thinking about that as really uncomfortable? Life is too short to settle. Life goes by so fast. You want to look back and say, gosh, I'm so glad I left something comfortable, stepped outside my comfort zone and found something that challenged me. And when we talk about settling, we often go, well, you know, I'm just lazy. I'm just not motivated. I just haven't got it in me to do something about it. And when you give yourself these labels, you cause yourself to feel shame. You're not lazy, you just haven't really fully understood that you are directing your mind and telling it you want to stay put when actually you do not want to stay put at all. So don't ever say, I'm lazy, I'm stuck, I just don't have any motivation, frankly, I can't be bothered, I just don't have the skill set to change. It's too much effort to change. Never do that. Every word you say is a blueprint that your mind and body start working on and acting on to make real. I'm lazy. If you say that enough, you'll start to act and react as someone who is lazy. You're not lazy. You just didn't know until right now how to dialogue with your own mind, to be motivated, to be directed, to be passionate, to be excited about change and willing to do what it takes to change. So forget about what you haven't done until now. The past is gone. You're now in the present. And if you make the present and the future exciting, you will move towards it like a laser. So focus on what you need to do. How can you excite your imagination to find applying for a new job compelling and something that you must do that is irresistible? What language can you use? What images can you look at? Look at the kind of job you want and go, I'm doing that. That job has my name on it. How can you build the confidence to go for interviews? Well, these are steps that you can do when you decide. Decision means to cut off from decide, to stop labeling yourself as lazy, to stop using the word comfortable and unmotivated and use opposite words. I'm motivated, I'm energetic, I'm dynamic, I'm committed, I am changing my career. I'm so motivated to do that, and I will do whatever it takes you. When you say those words, your mind has such a clear picture, and it will move you towards what you want, and it will do it very quickly. So now you know what to do. Go out and get a great job that stretches you, motivates you, excites you, and makes you feel good about yourself. So here's another question. Hey Marisa, I started working for myself a few months ago, but I struggle to start early in the morning, and I tend to slack if I know that nobody is checking up on me. Why have I suddenly become lazy? Well, you see, something that really helps you go after your goals is to understand that to get what you really, really, really want requires you to do what you don't want to do. I want to have a six-pack, so I've got to go to the gym and really put myself through painful sit-ups. To get what I want, the six-pack, I've got to do what I don't want, which is working out. To get what I want, running my own business, I've got to do what I don't want. I don't want to get up early, but I do want a super successful business. So you need to start really turning your mind on by, I want this so much, I will do whatever it takes. Before you go to bed at night, you need to say, I can't wait to get up super early and apply myself to my business. This excites me. It thrills me, it empowers me. Remember, the way you feel about everything, bar none, is actually down to the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. When you wake up, you go, oh, it's so comfortable here. I need another hour. I want to stay in bed and then look at my phone and mess around. To do that, you have told your mind you want to do it. And now tell your mind other things. I love jumping out of bed early. I never feel right until I'm applying myself to my business. When I get up early, which I do every weekday, and apply myself to my business, I feel fulfilled. I feel motivated. I feel amazing. I've written several books, and I had to go, there's nothing I want more than to get up and write that book. That wasn't even true. Of course, I wanted to stay in bed and drink a cup of coffee and lay there, but I understood, and you must too, that your mind doesn't even know if what you tell it is true or false, helpful or not helpful. And you have the power to say things, I want this, I've chosen it. Imagine if you were a Marine. You wouldn't go, oh, I don't want to run, it hurts my knees, I'd rather be at home. Marines sing, bring it on, I can do this, I'm a Marine. They are constantly having a dialogue with their brain that goes, I want it, I love it. And even though it isn't true, the most amazing thing is it becomes true. So imagine if you were a super successful, dynamic business person running your own business, what would you say to yourself every day? I can't wait to get started. I'm excited to get going. Wake up and have your alarm clock play that song by the Black Eyed Peas. Let's get it started in here, because that sends a message. I'm ready. I'm excited. You see, we so often just fail to understand that the way we feel about anything is down to the words we make. And all we have to do is change those words. That sounds simple, because it is simple. And when you change the words, you stop resisting. See all these kids who can't get out of bed. On Christmas Day, they're up at 3 a.m. because they have a different thought. Gifts. There's gifts downstairs. I want to wake up. You can't get your kid up except the day you're going on holiday or on their birthday. So look at the times you've leapt out of bed early and think, what was going on then? You know, in April this year, I got 7 little abandoned kittens, and I'd wake up and think, I need to go and feed those kittens right now. They needed feeding every few hours. I'd walk in the room and they were climbing up my legs. They would leap in the air, and I started to link so much pleasure to getting up super early, but not just getting up, getting out of bed, going downstairs, feeding these 7 tiny little things that would have died if I hadn't. And that was very different. They're not kittens now. I don't have to do that. But you're beginning to see the picture. If you tell your mind, I can't wait to get out of bed, I can't wait, I'm so excited, I'm so ready, you'll get up early with passion and motivation. So take a moment and think about your goal. What is your goal with your business? What are you prepared to do? And here's something else that is super important when you run your own business. You mentioned if no one's watching. You see, we so often like a boss. My boss is watching, my boss is assessing. My boss comes up and goes, hey, well done, you did a great job today. But many of us work for ourselves. There is no boss. And you have to build your own praise muscle, your own assessing muscle. You may need to get someone you can be accountable for, an accountability buddy that you speak to every week and say, hey, I did this and I did that. When I was getting my first book published, I got an accountability buddy, accountability group. And funnily enough, they were called my peer group. Great name. And I had to account to them every week. And that made me finish that book when it's so easy to go, oh, I'll do that later. I'll just delay it a little bit. When you have to account to someone, it stops you being lazy. So you can imagine people are watching. You imagine your clients, your customers. Your accountability buddy is watching you. You are your own boss. Watch yourself. When I'm doing therapy with clients, I occasionally imagine I'm being watched by an audience. And it makes me work even better to sort out that client if I imagine somebody is watching me. And that's something anybody can do. So do that now. Be accountable to yourself and say, I have decided to be the very best, to do whatever it takes, and to imagine I am being assessed. And I like being assessed. And it will make you work better. Here's another question that is so applicable to so many of us. Hey, Marisa, I can never motivate myself to do important tasks like tax returns, insurance renewals, or even getting my car fixed. It's got me into difficult situations at times. How do I overcome procrastination? Because I always find something better to do instead. Well, again, it's the same question. When you go, I don't really want to, oh, it's so boring doing taxes. It's so boring renewing my insurance. It's so boring getting my car paper sorted out. You've told your mind, I don't want to do this. And you have to tell your mind the opposite. Your mind should be working for you like the most phenomenal PA. And here's another thing that human beings don't understand. We come onto the planet wired to work for rewards. And we all know with our children, we go, well, if you tidy your room, you can have an ice cream. If you do your homework, you can go out to play. At school, we have work, recess, because we learn the rewards. And one of the best things you can do is go, okay, I usually have a lovely cappuccino at 11, or maybe I snack on peanut butter and apple slices at 10, but I am going to wait for that. That is my reward. I can only have that when I've done my tax returns, or at least started them, because they may be a few days in the going. Maybe you're going to call a friend or watch something on television and you say, that is my reward. When I have done my tax returns, I reward myself with a gorgeous lunch, a wonderful snack, a bit of screen time, calling a friend, watching a favorite movie. Now you have wired yourself to get a reward. And human beings work really well when they have a reward. When you go, well, you know what, I've got to do my taxes, I'm just going to have dinner, call my friend, take some screen time, then watch my favorite film, and then I'll do my taxes. You and I know that you won't do them because you just took the reward before you did the chore, and now there's no point in doing the chore. And once you start to wire your mind to delay gratification, to take simple things as a reward, it becomes really, really exciting. Often we wake up and think, I don't want to get up. Oh, I've got this amazing yogurt in the fridge. I need to get up and have that for breakfast. Sometimes that excites us. And because that's a part of human wiring, you can use that to your benefit. So think of the things you don't really want to do and say, I want to do them. That feeling when I've sent off my tax return is amazing. That feeling when all my insurance is done, well, I feel secure and safe and proud that I did it. And I reward myself for every little chore. When you do that, you cannot help but become a winner, because delaying gratification, delaying the reward, rewarding yourself after event and not before, is one of the marks of very, very successful people. They all do that naturally or unnaturally, and you can too. I had to learn that. And you can learn it, and when you learn it and apply it, it will absolutely change your life. See, nobody really wants to tidy up their closet or clean their house or even empty the dishwasher. Sometimes when I'm going to bed at night, I think, oh, I've got to stack the dishwasher. But it makes my husband really happy when he wakes up and it's all done, because we have a thing. I fill it, he empties it. If I don't fill it at night, he's not going to empty it in the morning. And so I link pleasure to that. And it becomes so easy to link pleasure to things you don't want to do, because you can choose. See, some people link pleasure to putting a needle in their arm, to having tattoos. Some people link pleasure to long distance running. You can choose anything. You could link pleasure to lifting really heavy weights that hurt you or not. That is one of the amazing things about human beings. We're the only creatures who can choose what to link pleasure. I can't put my kittens in a bath. Go, isn't this great? The bubbles, it's all Joe Malone. They are wired to hate water. But I can choose, and you can choose. And when you choose what to link pleasure to, your life will be extraordinary. So start right now, because I can only tell you the truth. It works. And what's more, it always works. And it works really fast too. My brother went to a private school, and I didn't, not because my parents weren't the ones who went, well, girls don't. He passed an exam and went to a private school. I didn't pass the exam, so I didn't go to this private school. But in the private school, where most of the kids that go are children of very rich parents, they do this, we call it math, and they'd go, right, here's the math for today. You have 8 factories, and you sell 2. How many have you got left? Well, the answer's 6. But in my school, they said you have 8 bananas and you give 2 away. How many have you got left? The answer is 6. But I always thought that was very interesting. In his school, they were talking about investing. You have 8 factories and you sell 2. You've got 6 left. You've got all the money from the 2 that you just sold. But my school was all about bananas and apples and pears. And I've given them away. I gave away my apples and I've only got 6 left. But I haven't got any investment. And that was always interesting to me, that private schools teach children differently. They talk about investing, and when you grow up, there's an assumption. When you grow up, you've got 8 factories. When I grow up, I've got 8 bananas. And that's so interesting, because these little kids are 5 and 6 in this private system, already learning what they live. When I grow up, I'll have 8 factories.
and I'll sell 2, and I'll invest the money from the 2. Maybe I'll have 8 houses, or maybe I'll have something else. But I've only got bananas, and I'm giving them away. So I'm very disadvantaged here. And that sounds silly, but it's all about the relationship with money. You see, people who have money don't fear it. They do see it as a form of energy. They're not scared of it. They also don't waste it, because you learn what you live. And several years ago, I was asked to work with someone who'd won the lottery, and I was doing a TV show with him, and he worked in a cookie factory, and he earned about £200. That's about $280 a week. I think I'm not great at conversion. That's not my gift, actually, maths. I can put my hand up and say that it's not my gift, and it's not meant to be my gift, so I don't care that I can't convert dollars to pounds, or euros for that matter. So he earned not very much money, and when you don't have very much money, you have a small pay packet. By the end of the week, it's all gone, because you get your pay packet, and you pay the rent, and you pay the bills, and maybe you go out and you buy some stuff, and it's all gone. So when he won 10 million sterling, which is, I don't know, $14 million, what do you think he did? Have a guess. Spent the whole lot. In 2 years, if he'd won $100 million, he would have done the same. By the way, it was all gone. Because investing was something totally unfamiliar to him. He didn't even know what that was. Saving, putting it away, buying stuff that goes up in value, buying stocks, that's just another country to him. What he understood was buy cars, buy more cars, buy a house. And in the end, he had a field full of cars that he was racing. And then it all went. He went on amazing holidays. He paid for everyone else to go on holiday. He didn't have a clue about saving it. And in fact, I later learned that when people who haven't had money win a lot of money, if you don't get to them very quickly, help them to invest, it will all go. And if you Google penniless lottery winners, you'll find quite a lot, because that was so unfamiliar to him, investing. But then he said something very interesting. We were doing this television show. He said, I prefer it. He said, I'm right now back in the cookie factory. I'm earning the same amount of money. I'm so much happier. I didn't like having all that money. I didn't know who I was. He said, I moved away from all my friends, because his friends lived on an estate, and they all worked in the same factory, and they had a life. And when he got a big house in the country, he didn't really like it, so he got rid of that money as fast as he could, and he went back to what's familiar. And I'm going to tell you later about how the mind is wired, hardwired, to love what is familiar, to massively resist what is unfamiliar. And I've seen that many, many times. I worked with 2 different rock bands. Each of them were earning 4 million sterling a year, and each of them, when the band folded, had nothing. They'd bought Rolex watches and Porsches, but they had no investments at all, because they too came from that life where the week ran out before the money ran out before the week ran out. And so when they had money, they just spent it all. And so your relationship with money at an early stage affects your relationship with money later on, and it is energy. That's all it is. And if you don't fear it, and if you don't believe these beliefs you picked up as a child, then everything will change. So I love being a therapist, and I've invented my own form of therapy, which I love. And one of the things in my therapy that really works amazingly is I used to take clients back to 3 scenes. They'd come in with a whole list. I'm bulimic, I'm anorexic, I'm a sexaholic, I'm an alcoholic, I'm terrified of bees or birds or elevators. Doesn't matter what they came in with. I'd take them back to 3 scenes. And then I would go, okay, here's the 3 scenes, and I'm like a detective, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to tell you that you do this now because of that, and now we've got all that worked out, and now I'm going to cure you. And that was very effective. And then I learned that if I let the client tell me, it was much more effective, because they would work it out. Because occasionally they'd argue with me, so I'd say to someone, right, okay, so we've gone back to these 3 scenes. In each scene, you're not allowed to have dessert. In scene 1, in the scene 2, your mother won't get you a cake on your birthday because you can't. And in the last scene, everyone's at this picnic, and they've all got cake, and you've got some boring avocado because your mum's some health nut, and guacamole, and you can't have candy. And now here you are today, obese, and you can't stop eating candy. And let's look at scene 1, 2, and 3. Not allowed candy, not allowed candy. And when you open your lunch, you go, ugh, look at that, that's disgusting. What is guacamole? I've got like Smarties and Jelly Babies and jelly beans. And your brain is like, I need loads of candy because I haven't got it. And now 40 years later, you're mainlining jelly beans. And sometimes they go, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. And I go, okay, well, you tell me. And they didn't know, well, I don't know, but I know it's not that. So then I began to say to my clients, okay, it's what I call left hand, right hand. Here's the 3 scenes from your past, and here you are today. How did those 3 scenes then affect you? And they tell me exactly what it was. And I love that, because the thing in life is that scenes don't affect you. Even events don't affect you, but the meaning you attach to a scene, oh boy, does that affect you. The way you interpret a scene will affect you. So I'd get my clients to do their own interpretation. I knew they got it right. But then I learned to take them back to each scene again and have them go, it's not me. That's not me because. So I want you to turn to your neighbor. I want you to get into twos. You don't have to move. And I want you to go back to your money scene, 1. And I want you to say to your neighbor, that's not me because, so let's pretend it's me and my dad will take me to this shop. And by the way, when they bought me this hideous bit of chocolate, they always bought themselves amazing stuff, which is even more weird. It's like, oh, you can have that really expensive Lindt chocolate and I've got this horrible thing. So I can't have what other people have. So that was my scene. And you see, we learn what we live. We carry on these stories. Oh, we never had money. No one in my family had money. Everyone in my family went bankrupt. All my family are working class. And I have heard many people say, well, you shouldn't have more than your grandparents. So I never had that. Why should you have it? Why should you have a lovely computer for Christmas? I never had computers. Why should you have those Nike trainers when I can get them in Target's own brand, for half the money? And so we hear this stuff and we go, oh, it's not available to me. And so most of my clients carry on this luggage of life, this story. But when you say, oh, okay, that's not me. I would never go into a shop now and go, what's the cheapest candy you have? Because that's got my name on it. I buy what I want, and I sometimes buy the most expensive stuff. My trainee, who got really freaked out every time she had to spend stuff. I had one client who used to go into stores at lunchtime and eat all the sample food, and he was a millionaire. And when they were a kid, they were so poor that he had to go to the store and ask if they had stale bread or dented tins. And sometimes the store manager would go, yeah, it's a little store, but yes, we've got some dented cans of soup, you can have them. And other times he goes, stop coming here. My job is not to give you my stock, go away. And he was like 10 and his mum gave him the job, go out and you've got to get food for the whole family, steal it, beg, ask for it. You can imagine what that did to a 10-year-old kid. He was so horrified. And now he's a millionaire and he doesn't buy food. He walks around Hughes Market eating all the samples at lunchtime. And he said, because I'm saving money. I said, what for? He went, do you know, I never ever thought about that. What am I saving? I don't know, because I can't business. But in my head, I must save money. So I buy out-of-date products. I still buy dented cans. I go to really cheap places to eat, and I always eat samples. If they're giving away samples, I'm in the queue, cramming them into my mouth. And I said, because you still feel like that 10-year-old kid who had to beg for food or take food or get free food, but you're a millionaire. Another of my clients, very differently, his wife said to me, please sort out my husband. He said, when we go out to eat, he puts his hand around the food and he crams it in his mouth like that. It's so embarrassing. It's all gone in 5 minutes. Everyone else hasn't even started. And if you take a fry off his plate, he will go mental. In fact, one of his kids ate something in the cupboard, I think a packet of his potato chips, and he took a sneaker and he smashed up the child's bedroom, smashed it up, broke the television, everything, because they'd eaten something of his without asking him. So, and she said, you know, we don't even have dinner parties because the way he eats, it's just horrifying. So we have no life. We never go out to dinner. We never go to restaurants. I can't even look at him anymore when he eats because it's just crazy, and he can't stop. So I did a regression, and I said, okay, let's go back to a scene, and back he was. And when he was a kid, he had a stutter, and amazingly, they put him in care because he had a stutter, because he had a speech impediment, he couldn't speak. So they put him in a children's home, and then when all the kids stole his food, so they'd put down sausages and fries, and they'd steal his sausage, and he couldn't speak, he couldn't tell anyone because he had a stutter. By the time he'd gone, oh, never mind, because they got hundreds of other kids, so they're not really that interested in him. And so he learned to put his hands around his food, to get a fork, and to stab any kid that came near him to try and eat his food. And I said, well, that makes sense, but you're now 52. and you're famous, and you're a multimillionaire, and you're not living in a children's home except in your head, and smashing up your kid's room because they ate some of your stuff. And eating like that is crazy because you're still acting like you're a little kid. And so I made him say, it's not me, that's not me, because... And his wife said, oh my God, you've changed. We just went out to dinner, and he sat and ate the food slowly, and he gave me some food off his plate, and nearly fainted, and he's a completely different person. Because first you have to understand, understanding is power. Understanding in hypnosis is the most phenomenal power. And then you have to change. People go, well, I know why I do that. Yeah, I've been to a therapist. I know exactly why I drink. I know I shout at my wife. I know I always get fired, but I still do it. So that's not quite good enough. You have to know it and change it.
I want you to take your phone out and go into your phone notes, and I want you to make a list of everything your body does for you. It digests food. It keeps you alive. Your feet take you places. Your legs take you places. Your stomach digests food. Your hands allow you to wrap your arms around people. You can hold the hand of a child. Your mouth allows you to speak, to kiss people. Your eyes are sparkly clear. I want you to look at everything you love about your body. Its energy. It's within the fact that it's here. The fact that it is working every day to keep you alive and well. Your body does so much for you, so much. And we never really realize how great our body is until it's out of action. Suddenly we've got the flu, we've got a stomach bug and we can't eat, or we've got something and we can't go to the bathroom, or we can't stop going to the bathroom. We've got a terrible headache and we think, wow, I never appreciated my body until I couldn't keep food down. I couldn't keep stuff in, and now I realize how lucky I was to have a healthy body. Only when we get sick do we appreciate our body. And I promise you, if you can do one loving thing for your body, it will do so many loving things back. I want you every day to focus on what you love about your body. I love my skin. I love my shiny, sparkly eyes. I love my smile. I love my voice. I love my energy. I love the fact I can wrap my arms around my kids and cuddle them. I love my voice. Please move away from what you weigh and the label in your clothing. It doesn't mean anything. When I grew up, I loved my grandmother. She had her arms like sides of ham, and she'd wrap me in them, and it was the safest place in the world to be. I had a very skinny mother who was always on a diet, very beautiful, but I wanted to be with my grandmother. She cooked, she made cakes, she baked pies. She had no clue what she weighed. It just wasn't in her radar, and to me she was the most beautiful person in the world. But my mother, always being on diets, helped to give me a very bad relationship. My mother was always weighing food. She lived on diet yogurt and diet shakes, and she didn't want to have anything bad in the house, which made me crave the stuff that we were not allowed to have: fizzy drinks, cookies. And I was very aware that she did that to me, and I never wanted to do that to my own daughter. So don't talk about naughty food. I used to pick my daughter up from school and go, well, today's little treat is mango, today it's hummus, today it's olives. I never made it about sugar. Sometimes it was. You need to fall in love with your body. The quickest way, the only way you can have the body you love is to love the body you have, to honor it, to respect it, to imagine if your body was a little child, someone gave you a perfect little baby, what would you feed it? You wouldn't feed it cake and cookies and Coca-Cola because it would be so perfect. You'd feed it avocado and maybe some fruit and maybe some vegetables. If you can see your body like a baby, depending on you to care for it, you'll care for it better. And here's another thing, when you're looking at junk food, tell yourself the truth. Your body does not crave that. Your body doesn't go, oh yay, look at that, colorants, chemicals, emulsifier, pesticides, preservatives. Let me knock myself out. Your body doesn't want that. You've allowed your mind to make you believe you want it because it will make you happy. It does not make your body happy to eat food that's not food. It doesn't make it happy, it makes it unhappy and ill. Fall in love with your body the way it is now. Respect it, love it, cherish it. That will help you feed it better, real, wholesome food, and that will help you become the weight and shape you want to be, because it's all based on respect and love, not hate and punishment and being at war with yourself and trying to deprive yourself. I know it works. I've been showing people this way for years. It always works. Hey Marisa, how can I get away from anxious eating and establish a healthy relationship with food with lifelong balance? See, a lot of people do anxious eating. The stomach right here, it's the seat of all your emotions. Anxiety, worry, fear, stress all start in the stomach. It's why children come out in the room and I go, my tummy hurts. Whatever they want, they feel it in the tummy. And we have learned to push our feelings down through it. I feel bad, what can I eat? I feel angry, what can I eat? I feel upset, what can I eat? I feel stressed, what can I eat? Now, when you're stressed, we have taste receptors here. And when you chew food, you relax. So when you eat crunchy bread, chewy steak, potato chips, chunks of crunchy granola, or hard apples, that very act of chewing is relaxing. Secondly, when you eat carbohydrates, they have a very sedating, tranquilizing, soporific effect on you, and many of us, without knowing it, self-medicate, calm ourselves, sedate ourselves with carbs. One of the best ways to calm anxiety is to drink a hot drink. Hot drinks are immensely soothing, but you don't need to have cappuccino with cream and marshmallows. You can have a mint tea with a little stevia in it. So if you're feeling very anxious, by all means drink something hot. Actually, chewing gum has the very same effect on these taste receptors here. I'm not a big fan of gum, but if you eat to relax, gum will have exactly the same effect. And thirdly, understand this truth. When you're anxious and you eat, it actually causes more anxiety. The body does not want to digest food. That's why when you're scared and nervous and terrified, the last thing you want to do is eat, because the body doesn't cope with anxiety and digestion at the center. In fact, sometimes when you're scared, you actually throw up. Many people who are scared run to the bathroom because the body tries to get rid of what's in your gut and in your stomach when you're super anxious. So I understand you're using carbs to tranquilize yourself, you're using chewing and biting to get these taste receptors to cause a relaxing feeling. But you can find a better way. Yes, you can chew a crunchy apple, that's great. You could have a couple of crackers, that's fine. You can have a hot drink and drink it slowly. But eating a lot of food when you're anxious will make you more anxious. Now you've got into a vicious circle. You're anxious, you eat, you feel more anxious, it's hard to digest that food and you eat more. Don't do that. Push your shoulders down when you're anxious. Fill up your mouth with saliva. Nobody will know you're doing it. And say this: I'm so chilled, I'm so relaxed, I'm super calm. You can move anxiety out of your body and your mind really fast by telling yourself the right things. I'm calm, I'm chilled, I'm at ease, I'm at peace. Push your shoulders down, fill up your mouth with saliva, and even do this, pushing your arms around. This is so calming. If you feel anxious, do your body a favor. Calm yourself. Actually rubbing your hands together, very calming, and weirdly touching your face like that, even touching your chin. These send a message to your mind that say, I am calm. A big cake doesn't send that message. A burger and fries, a bowl of pasta does not send that message. They send, oh, I'm already stressed. Now I've got to digest this food and it's too much. Too much. When you're stressed and when you're ill, the last thing you need is to overwork your body with digestion. Think better thoughts, do these funny little actions, and you'll become calm, and you won't need to eat, and save up your hunger and eat real food selectively, and you'll do just great. Hey Marisa, if I don't limit myself, I feel a great sense of shame. I'm scared of appearing greedy. How can I overcome that? Well, that's a great shame, because if you're on a date with a guy, a lot of guys find a hearty appetite really attractive. Parents often say he's a good eater, she's a good eater. I know when I used to cook for my daughter, I loved seeing her really eating something I'd made and enjoying it. But we've been brainwashed to believe that greed is bad, that having a second helping is bad. Many of us are scared of appearing greedy, think we should eat like a bird. So you shouldn't limit yourself necessarily. You should be aware of what you eat. And in fact, if you want to know how to limit yourself, if you think, oh, I'm always hungry, I haven't had enough, I need more, now I'm going to go back up to get more, and I'm going to feel this sense of shame, which happens a lot. We tend to do this if we go out and we order a salad and a little piece of fish, or a salad and a little bit of chicken, and then we think, well, that wasn't enough. I had one sandwich for lunch. It wasn't enough. I need more. So if you're at a buffet, if you're ordering in a restaurant, order enough to fill you up and order more protein. He's always trying to have, kind of look at my hand, like a palm-sized amount of protein or more, and eat slowly. When you chew food, there are more digestive enzymes in your saliva than in your stomach, and if you eat quickly, you'll still feel hungry, and then it's very hard to limit yourself. So chew food, eat slowly, put your knife and fork down between bites. Take the time to recognize satiety, which is just the opposite of being insatiable, is being full. But if you bolt food, you won't feel full. And if you eat junk food, you will not feel full. That's why you can sit in a cinema and eat a bucket of popcorn and keep going, because when food is worthless and has no nutrients, your body will say, keep going, I need some nutrition here. So if you're eating diet yogurts, diet potato chips, diet granola bars, and the ingredients do not satisfy you, then you will feel, I need more. Now I'm being greedy. After all, we've all eaten a whole packet of cookies, a whole family bag of potato chips, but no one says, you know what, I ate a family-sized portion of chicken. I ate a whole chicken, I ate 10 chicken breasts, I ate 8 fish fillets, because when it is real food, it fills you up. You can eat a bucket of popcorn, a huge bag of candy. You wouldn't eat a bucket of vegetable soup. So things to factor in are, take a look at what you're eating. Make sure the food is real. If you're at a buffet or a restaurant, order enough food. There's nothing worse ordering a little side salad and then thinking, oh, I need more, and all my friends are, now I need more. I'm going to have to order a dessert now. Now I'm going to look greedy. Be smart. Order the right type of food. Eat the right type. Eat the right amount. If you eat slowly, selectively, consciously, if you engage in the food and eat mindfully, you'll be less inclined to think, I need more. But sometimes it's an emotion. And if you do think, today I need more, I want more, just laugh and go, hey, I'm having a day today when I want more food. I think today I'll have some more food and enjoy it, and don't allow anyone to shame you. So you'll get fat if you eat that. That will go straight to your hips. You just answer with, not if I just do this once a week. I very rarely eat desserts. So I'm going to have one, I'm going to love it, I'm going to savor it, and I have a great metabolic rate, and my body knows how to burn it off. Don't allow anyone to shame you for what you eat or how you eat. But don't bolt your food and eat fast. That doesn't work. I know that will work for you. Thanks for your question. You know why? Because you're helping everyone else too. Hey Marisa, How do I figure out what my emotional triggers are? How do I counter them? Well, many people are indeed emotional eaters. And they eat when they're stressed, they eat when they're upset, they eat when they're anxious, they eat when something is going wrong, and they eat when something is going right, because emotional eaters use food for every occasion. I feel good, let me celebrate with food. I feel bad, let me commiserate with food. So if you are an emotional eater, you have to take some time to understand what are your emotions. And if you push your emotions down with food, say you've just had some bad news, you've been rejected at a job or by a friend or by someone you were dating, and your instinct says, I need to eat tons of food and push that feeling down. But you see, your feelings are rather like a classroom of children going, hey, notice me, I'm here, notice me. When you push your feelings down, you know what they do? They regroup and they come back stronger than ever. So if you feel sad and you eat that sadness, it returns, and you eat it more and it becomes stronger. And here's the best advice you will ever get about emotional eating. You must feel your feelings until they no longer require to be felt. Feel your feelings until they no longer require to be felt. And that means you have to say, you know what? I feel very sad. I feel hurt. I feel let down. I feel lonely. I feel overlooked. I feel uncared for. I feel unimportant. I feel jealous of my sister. I feel angry with my mum. I feel furious with my partner. I feel rage with my child. When you say it, the feelings go, oh, you got it. You got it. So now you've got the message, I can go away. When you feel the feeling until it no longer requires to be felt, it goes away. When you try and Netflix that feeling, eBay that feeling, shop the feeling, gamble the feeling, drink the feeling, medicate the feeling, or eat the feeling, it will come back. And when you simply allow yourself to say, this is how I feel, it may be unreasonable, it may be illogical, but feelings are stronger than logic. In a battle between logic and feeling, the feeling will win. So you can't say, well, I shouldn't feel like that. What have I got to feel like that? It's wrong to feel jealous. It's not right to feel angry. I shouldn't feel. Your feelings are the most real thing you have. Feel them. Acknowledge them, accept them. You know what? They go away. It's what I call triple A. And here's how to do triple A. I want you to go, okay, let me be aware of what I'm feeling. I'm feeling jealousy. Okay, people say we shouldn't be jealous, it's not right. No, I'm aware of it. Now I'm going to accept it. This is how I feel. Right now I feel jealous or hurt. And then I'm going to acknowledge it and articulate it. So you're aware of the feeling, you accept the feeling, you acknowledge the thing, you articulate it. I am feeling sad, lonely, pessimistic, negative. And the minute you do that, aware, accept, acknowledge, articulate, you know what happens? It goes away. It goes away so fast, and you don't need to do emotional eating ever again. That's my advice. I can only tell you one thing. It works. So remember, aware of your feeling, acknowledge it, accept it, articulate it, then you're free of it and you never have to eat it. Check out my next video here. Marilyn Monroe was such an example of someone who looked out there. She believed if I become rich and famous and beautiful, then surely I'll feel lovable. And I've seen many, many clients who say, but no one loves me. I can't find love.